All right, so we'll get this thing going real quick, guys. Don't forget, we do this Monday through Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern. We have different guests every night. Tonight we got Conservative Ant, and on the we have Delilah. That's how you say her name, correct?
I think it's Dahlia.
Dahlia, thank you. I'm saying, yeah, Dahlia, thank you. But we do these Monday through Thursday. Again, speaktruthwithoutfear.com. Put it in your email. Check the support tab. We had a podcast that came out today. I talked about the Cusick family, which we'll talk about later on, I'm sure, because we are going to talk a little bit about this January 6th stuff. But dude, what's on your mind right now with what's going on? I mean, there's so many news cycles going on. There's stuff about Jan 6 coming out. We have the audits. We got the Tucker Carlson being spied on the NSA. I mean, what's the big story for you that's popping out right now?
So since we are coming up, I think it is on day 9 of the search and recovery at this point. I feel like it's more of a search and recovery than a search and rescue at this point of the Miami building collapse. I had heard a little bit of circulations today that there were some news networks like MSNBC and CNN actually relating the collapse of the building to, you guessed it, climate change.
Climate change. I mean, think about this. I love this because you texted me this like 20 minutes ago, like, bro, did you hear about this? I just made a video on it. I'm like, I just finished a video. I literally posted it like 5 minutes before we went live. I'm listening to CNN, and the energy secretary is speaking to, this isn't like a contributor piece. We're talking on national television. And the CNN journalist completely brought it up. Like, we don't know exactly how the building collapsed, but we do know that there is a climate crisis. And so do you think that the building might have collapsed because of climate change? And the response for the energy secretary, she's like, well, we don't know because we know the tides are really coming in. Bro.
What a really disingenuous way for the Biden administration or journalists, and I use journalists loosely, to use this tragedy once again for an agenda, a climate change agenda. Like, living in Florida on both coasts, yes, we know that we're losing, they say, 1 inch to 2 inches of beachfront every year or something like that. It's something really, in my opinion, minuscule. But, I mean, maybe it's not. But that has nothing to do with the building collapsing, guys.
Yep.
Like, there's no reason why. There's no signs of this building. Oh, there she is. Kamala.
Hi, guys.
Welcome. I know that Kamala's usually late, honey.
Oh, damn it. It's just like the videos.
It's just like the videos. Full disclosure, her and I are very similar content. Hers is really better than mine. But we have never been together in one screen before.
Really?
No.
Well, mine is duets, but not in real, like, live.
Yeah, no, we haven't.
That's why I love having these lives, because you bring people together and then everyone just becomes friends, and then we see each other at events. It's awesome because, I mean, again, like, and we all have our own way of getting our content out. Like, if I tried to impersonate Joe Biden, I would be horrible because I just don't know how to talk that slow. I don't know how to whisper really good. I mean, but
I don't think we have a creator that imitates really Joe Biden besides. No, there isn't. There's the Biden. One. His name is the Black Biden.
Yeah,
he's hilarious.
I love.
But he does like a very dramatic Biden. but we don't have like a legit, like we have the Nancy Pelosi girls, we have Kamala. I do my phone calls to all of them, but we don't have a Biden. We need a Biden one. We have a couple of Trumps too. We do have those two guys that have the Trump accent down pat.
This is true.
So true. I keep like going around asking people, I'm like, do you want to be my Biden? And they're like,
nobody wants to really act like Biden.
I mean, they're probably like 80 years old. So they don't got that much. Yeah. Anyways, so okay, real quick. So as we all know, we talk about here every single night. We always go over these first basics. We were just talking about CNN blaming the collapsed building, which is a tragedy, on climate change, which again, like, do you guys remember the Project Veritas leak where they said, you know, they met with one of the senior editors at CNN, and he said that in 2022 and over these next couple of years, you're going to see this focus on climate change, and that is going to become the focus. And they're politicizing this building that collapsed, which does look like a controlled demolition. This building that collapsed, and they're spinning it, and I don't know where they're getting it from, and they're trying to use this for climate change.
Everything's about climate change, it seems like.
And you know what here's the irony for me in the whole climate change. You know, we have we have the smallest footprint on the world when it comes to actual pollution.
We do.
And they're not holding people accountable like China. Can you record this?
Yeah.
Trump is on this. Man, I'm
Trump is on right now.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's on Hannity, I guess. But like, why are we?
He goes, hold on. Can you record this? Daddy is on.
I will stop the world for Daddy. But no, like, why are we not holding China accountable for, you know, mass pollution that's actually having effect on the world? And this is not only during the Biden administration. This is, you know, years and years and years of just laying down for these other countries, and then us being like, we're so sorry, we're going to make paper straws for the turtles. Well, it doesn't just start here, guys. It's a worldwide effort.
I know. I completely agree. It's wild. It's a wild time. It's a wild time that the media goes this low, but you know, it is what it is, and we keep. The good thing is the media's lost all confidence. The one thing that happened from the November 3rd election, and obviously the last 4 years with Trump, he has destroyed the reputation of the media, and that's including even on Fox. I mean, the moment Fox called Arizona on November 3rd, I think that's been the last time I've ever watched Fox News. I've even turned it on. The only time I'll watch Fox is those 5-minute clips or segments of Tucker Carlson, which, speaking of Tucker Carlson,
yes,
let's talk about it. Kamala, what's going on? You sending the NSA in?
No, I just watched it for the first time before I got on. I was like, holy hell. I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, you have the NSA spying on Tucker Carlson, and you had a leak, what do you call it? Not a leaker, but a whistleblower. You have a whistleblower within the NSA and says, hey, we just want to let you know we're spying on you, or we're looking at your emails. We wanted to give you a heads up. Here's the proof. Tucker has the proof, has the receipts.
Yeah.
Has everything. And then the NSA puts out a statement today, which I went through it, and they didn't deny anything.
Right. And actually, so Tucker made a really good point. I watched Tucker before I came on the show. Tucker said, you know, they didn't deny anything, which was funny, but he said Politico reached out to him and said, well, who are you emailing that it's such a big deal? And Tucker said, well, that's none of your business, A. And B, I was under the impression as an American that I was able to email whoever I wanted. Not to mention, I'm actually a journalist. So a lot of the times journalists will have interactions with people who possibly could have some type of connection to whatever, being a terrorist or being watched or whatever. But see, Republican or Democrat, everybody should be worried about this, because that means that everything that you're doing, you guys,
right,
is literally trash. I mean, we already knew that.
Yeah.
Yep. No,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I mean, we've seen the targeting that's happening with conservatives. I mean, we'll get to January 6th in a little bit and talk about the Cusick family. But it is crazy that we're living in a time and we're living in a country where, and this is why Trump had such an issue with the intelligence communities when he was in office, because he knew he was being targeted. He knew that the FBI and the CIA and whoever else, Clapper and the whole squad, were spying on him, spying on the Trump campaign. We already know that's already out. You don't have to label us a conspiracy anymore, because the conspiracies keep coming true.
They keep happening. They call us tinfoil hat people, but everything just keeps on happening. And it's so funny that, like, I feel like I don't follow any like big liberal accounts, but I wish I can go back to their videos and be like, ooh, like they try to do to us. This didn't age well.
This didn't age well. We should do that, Aunt.
We should.
I know. I've been telling Joe that the NSA is really watching us, so I'm like, you need to whisper. Okay.
Hey, we're seeing it. It's really sad, because the moment you have intelligence agencies being weaponized. I mean, do you guys remember when you were younger and like the FBI were the cool dudes? Like the movies, all the TV shows, like, yo, the FBI. Like, I was like, those are, people dressed up as the FBI for Halloween.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think that the institutions that were set up to protect us have been reversed, and it's being used to weaponize and target us.
Yeah.
And when that happens, I mean, there's no limitations. I mean, they're basically saying, hey, we can do whatever we want. We are our own country. No one can dictate what we do. No one knows what we do unless we get subpoenaed, and then it never gets out anyways. We saw what they did to Flynn. We saw what they did to Stone. We saw what they just indicted the CFO of the Trump administration. Or not administration, the Trump organization. They're just, it's wild times. But
my question is, how long does it go on until a moderate or a liberal says something out of turn, gets dinged with censorship, and then says, whoa, wait a minute, now enough's enough. And we're like, now enough's enough. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm waiting, because it's going to happen, because you have people like, look at Tulsi. She was, the reason why they silenced her was because why? She was a threat. She wasn't for everything on the left. She wasn't for anything on the right. She spoke against things that she did, and she didn't get her fair shot. She really didn't. I would have loved to hear some of her policy ideas and stuff that she had in the works. But guess what? The Democrats were threatened by her. So what is it going to take for somebody like her to just get fed up? It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Tulsi was their best candidate. Like, there was only one person that scared me when it came to going against Trump, and it was Tulsi, because she was so level-headed. Everything she said, you're like, oh, she's pretty smart, and everything she's saying is right. We have a couple different stances, but outside of that, I mean, if I would have much rather had her than any of the Democrats, let alone most of the Republicans. The Republicans themselves were pretty bad. But before we get to the other topics, I wanted to talk to you because it's your first time being on the show, and I wanted you to introduce yourself. And I found your video. How do I say your name again? I want to say Dahlia, but
Job.
I said it right.
Yes.
Okay, Dahlia, perfect. So I saw one of your videos. Someone tagged me in one of your videos, a week ago, and I was crying, literally crying, laughing. I think this is how I found Anthony too. Like I'm like, oh my God, I have to talk to this guy. Which I found Anthony through my sister, but I saw your video and the one when you're talking to a girl and you start stepping over all the tinfoil. And I'm literally crying, laughing. I'm like, I have to freaking do this right now. And I posted it. I threw AOC in there. And then I just stalked you. I went through every single video. I mean, just watched them all. And that's why I'm super excited to have you on. So when did you get started? I mean, how long have you been doing these videos? And how did this even happen? And the whole Kamala look, the laugh, everything.
Honestly, it was Boomer Justin, conservative aunt knows Boomer. That's how it started. I was in one of his lives and I was like, we should do a skit together. You can be Joe and I'll be Harris. And he was like, okay, we'll do it. And he put the sound together and we did one. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it was kind of fun. But then after that, I started making my own content. And that's when everybody was like, oh my gosh, I love it. And I was like, oh, do I have to? I'm so sorry.
No, yeah, you
Phone cut out.
No, you're fine. No, the videos they're hilarious. They're awesome. Have you had a really good response to a lot of the videos?
So far, yes. I mean, the trolls have come back. You know how they are. They always come back.
3 things we always talk about, which everyone probably knows, which we have to, oh, you're back. Perfect. 3 things we always talk about. What happened on November 3rd, 2020? Got to figure it out. What happened on January 6th, 2021? Oh, she's gone. And number 3, where did COVID come from? Or, everyone's saying, Jordan, you're blurry. Are you seeing me?
You're a little blurry.
What is going on? I mean, it is
sorry,
still
guys.
me.
I know I had to get my food in before the show, but as everybody knows, the show must go on. So,
Am I still blurry?
No, you're better. So
okay, I'm better.
I did. I ate. I got out of my system, but I didn't want to shove my face on camera. So every once in
a while. This is like just 2 friends having a great conversation.
Right. So I agree. There's 3 questions that are it's almost like, is there an inhabitable planet out there? Right. It's like one of those questions where I don't know. The world may never know. So
let's talk about the updates real quick. November 3rd. The audit's supposed to come out any day now. We're waiting for the report. I think they're going to delay this for a little bit. I think they're going to release it in sections. They're not going to just give all the goods. And I think it's going to be damning. I mean, a lot of people are pretty dang confident with where.
Well, have you seen all the affidavits that they wheeled in?
No, I haven't.
There was boxes and boxes of affidavits that somebody had to go through and reports, and I was like, girl, this don't look too good for them.
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
And then we can go back and be like, that didn't age well.
Well, I mean, no one studied the affidavits. I remember going through these affidavits in December and January, and I'm reading through them, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, there's a truck driver that signed an affidavit. He said he drove 125,000 ballots from New York to Pennsylvania, and then he gets to Pennsylvania at the post office. They said they're going to meet him the next day, and what happens? His truck disappears. Signed affidavit, and the media never talked about it. We had the affidavit signed where the lady was working with the IT with Dominion, and she's an IT specialist. She was working the computers and literally said that I saw people messing with the machines. They're all connected to the internet. If you just read a little of the affidavits, you will see, holy cow, this election was stolen. And
well, what happens when somebody doesn't want to believe that? They're like, no, you are so crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're this, that, and the other. So, of course, we know what the truth is.
We talked about November 3rd a little bit. Yesterday, this came out. Representative Derry Rendon, Republican. She put this out in the article. Everyone, I mean, a lot of people are picking this up right now, which is, this is quote, I'm not making this up or, this is quote, I am a receipt of evidence reflecting that there was systematic election fraud in Michigan that occurred in the November 2020 election. And the fact that she said this, we have a lot of people now saying, hey, we need to push for this forensic audit, which is probably going to happen. Anthony, what do you think is going to happen? Let's just dream a little bit. Let's say Arizona comes back. There's some people are reporting and saying, hey, there's 200,000 ballots that are going to be reported that are going to end up being bad. If Arizona comes out, this report comes out, what is going to be the reaction to the country? I mean, do you think that the left will just say, oh, it's a fraud, it's fake, or do you think that this can actually really make some change in the country?
No, I don't think that the left is going to admit that at all. I think that they're going to say, no, you guys are crazy. Like, this is, and then they're going to try to attest it somehow. They're going to say that this isn't true. They're going to try to go through some legal process to get rid of it. I will say, though, we had this conversation with Ross a couple of weeks ago where we were talking about what could possibly happen. He doesn't think that Trump is going to come back at all.
Right.
I can honestly say for myself, I don't know. I don't know. Like, yeah. I'm starting to think that maybe it's possible. I've heard that what they would have to do is, for the first time in history, have another election, like a mandatory election. If that happens, we already know how that's going to roll. But that one's going to be like under government watch. Like, that's going to be like, you have to go and it's going to be a serious election because it's a lot of taxpayer dollars that goes into having those. So I don't know what can happen. People are going to say, if I say he's coming back August, then I'm a conspiracy theorist. So
yeah,
I don't know. What do you think?
What do I think? I think that the House and the Senate, the Congress in Arizona, will try to push legislation. And I think they'll be successful because Arizona, they got a squad in Arizona. I think that they are going to push for the decertification of the electors in Arizona. But, I mean, it's so interesting, bro, to think that you have the Justice Department suing the state of Georgia because the state went through the process. Those legislators wrote the bills. The House and the Senate of Georgia voted them in. They passed. The governor signed it. It's called democracy. And we all know the Constitution says that the states handle their own elections. The federal government does not get involved with individual states. Well, Georgia passes this bill. What does the federal government do? Sues the state of Georgia for its new rules that it's racially targeting, black people. When the state of Delaware, which is an all liberal state, has more strict rules than the state of Georgia, including government ID. But they don't want to go there because they know that they got that state on lock. What thoughts do you have on the federal government starting to get involved with the states?
They need to in this situation, though. The federal government, look, well, I know it's an overstep, right? So then it's like we don't want the government involved in local government because it goes against what we believe. But
it goes against what we believe, but we still need it. I don't know, Jordan. It's like a conundrum. Like what do you this is something that's historic. That's never happened before. Agreed.
So it needs to be handled diligently. It needs to be handled also lightly at the same time. The country is already in a fragile spot right now. And at the drop of a dime, these people like to riot and throw a fit. So you have instability, nationwide. So it's like, what do you do here in this situation?
Yeah, no. Daya, we're talking right now about the audits and kind of what would actually happen if the audits, we have the Arizona audit that's going to drop this week or the next week. I see a lot of people asking, they're like, I thought the audits were over. Yes, the audit's done. They finished it. They are, basically writing up now the report that they are going to release for the audit.
Right.
Evan's going to come on. That's great. So what are your thoughts with all the audits? Do you think that this goes somewhere? What do you think the end goal is? There we go. What's up, Brevin?
What's up?
So what do you think What are your thoughts?
I don't have any thoughts. I honestly try not to think about it. I know that's really scary to say, but I just think that it would be an upheaval in our country.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't really have a lot to say on it.
I mean,
Okay.
somebody said perhaps states break up.
Yeah.
You know, go the way of USSR. I mean, there's all different types of things that can happen. This is something that might have to be reinvented or redone because we're just losing people today. You are like I mean, this is like a Russian roulette here.
This is crazy, bro.
Somebody said spoken like a true Kamala.
No.
I have never had so many people get disconnected from the feed. This is crazy. I like it though. It's a new thing. We're working with technology. Come on, Kamala, give us the laugh at least.
But now, do you have a situation where you legitimately have states break off, like you have Florida break off, Texas break off into their own union? I mean, where does this go? Is this something that we'll see in our lifetime?
I think about this a lot. Okay, I'll tell you this. If we lose in 2022, which I don't think we will, but if we lose in 2022, I'm black-pilled. I'm completely black-pilled. The country's over. We're done. We're never going to win an election again. And there's reasons for that more than just like the conspiracy that, you know, we're turning into a globalist country. Statistically, when you have a new president, normally that following midterm, the other party would completely win in a landslide. They take back the House. They take back the Senate. So that should happen just based off stats. But we already know where the movement is. We already know where the energy is. We already know where the momentum is. We already know where the urgency is. So 2022 should be a complete landslide. It was, dude, 2020 was a landslide. Dang it.
It was. But I got to say this, though, guys. Conservative Republican voters, do not get laxed. Like, don't think we got 2022 in the bag either. Like, you have to do the work. People need to vote in primary. Like, there's things that need to be done. Like, don't think we got it because you might not have it. And I said this to people that are in the state of Florida, the people that are in the state of Texas, any of these Republican states, you're not going to have those governors forever.
Right.
They're out. They're done. So you get somebody else, you get a Democrat in that seat, which with the way the Biden administration has been going, I mean, people are kind of red-pilled right now if they weren't red-pilled before, I think.
Yeah.
I'm loving the green background. I feel very like you have I'm on the ground now. Oh, he's tossing me around.
It's like I'm in Florida or something, but I'm just in Ohio.
Oh, is that what we do?
Can you guys hear me?
We just toss people. I feel like I just had a drunk night at your house. Hold on, let me get a little bit more in me. Hold on, he roofied me. He came out, roofied me. Dolly, I'm going to call you to pick me up, girl. He threw me on the ground.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you great.
Okay, good.
No,
Sorry, I was not on Wi-Fi the first time I tried to get on, and it was like you all were glitching.
No, I'm glad you were able to hop on because we had someone that wasn't able to. We had conservative Barbie.
Perfect.
Was able
Oh yeah. Oh dang, that's a bummer.
Okay, so let's get into. I want to talk a little bit about the Cusick family, and I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are, because we have. I met this family this past week, and I'm sure it's just Instagram is just not liking us tonight.
Oh no, this is not good, fam.
It's okay. It's a part of.
We'll work with it. It happens. These things happen. You know, you got to just keep going.
I completely agree. You're back. I think she's back. But real quick, I want to talk about January 6th real quick and the Cusick family. Kamala's getting mad. She is not having it. But I want to talk about the Cusick family for a little bit because I met this family, and I'm sure you guys have seen some of the posts. First of all, I saw you both post their fundraiser and their article. Thank you to both you guys. But I saw a Gateway Pundit article that Cassandra ended up writing. I saw the article like at 12 o'clock at night. And I'm reading this article. I'm like, there's no way this is true. Like, there's just absolutely no way this family went through this, especially when I get down to the video. I see the video, they have 10 to 15 agents show up. So right what comes to my mind is there's no way. They had to commit violence. They had to try to break in. They did something for that to happen. Well, I end up seeing the video. I make the post. That next morning, I get a direct message from this family. Hey, thank you so much for bringing awareness to our family. We are going through a lot right now. The media is painting my dad like a domestic terrorist, like a racist, like everything you could think of. Can we please talk to you on the phone? Because no one is willing to talk to us. And I'm like, yeah, of course. So we talk on the phone for a little bit. The first thing I ask him, did your dad or your brother commit any violence on January 6th? And right away, no, are you kidding me? None. My dad would never, you know, they kind of got a little defensive in a sense, like, no, that did not happen. So we talked through some of what happened that day. I ended up driving over to Melbourne, drove about almost 2 hours, met the whole family, met the dad, met the son, met everybody. And the story that I heard was completely heartbreaking because you have a man, James Cusick, 72 years old, a 30-year, he's been a pastor and a missionary for 30 years. He was a vet for 14 years. He volunteered for the draft back during the Vietnam War, signed up to go to war. I mean, think about the privilege that we live in right now. And this man, at a young age, goes, you know what? Sign me up. He didn't get drafted. He volunteered. 4 months later, he was shipped out to the Vietnam War, served there for 4 years. Then he comes back, is a missionary, does a ton of just started a church, never committed a crime in his life. I'm like, hearing all this, I'm like, this is no way. This is like a movie. You're going to say April Fool's at the end. There's no way that they brought 10 to 15 agents for this man. Well, they did. They bring 10 to 15 agents. They arrest him. They put him in shackles around his feet. They arrested, cuffed him around his wrist. That was tied to a chain that was a pole wrapped around his waist, a pole thing. I mean, they treated this man like he was a terrorist. You would think that this man had 20 counts of felony charges, a ton of warrant for his arrest, that he went in the building.
Well, they treated the Boston bomber better.
Right? Oh my God.
I mean, it's like, what country is this?
Yeah. I mean, and you're completely right. I could not believe what I was hearing to find out that they didn't commit violence. They didn't even see any violence. And when you get to another story, which tomorrow the interview is going to be coming out, which I have about a 25-minute interview with the two daughters and their sister-in-law, the son's wife. You hear this story, and it's just complete heartbreaking. But
so just to be clear, Jordan, sorry to interrupt you. He's still in custody?
He's out now.
Oh, okay. I just want to.
He is out now. But here's the updates from what most people do not know. Number one, today they deleted both of them off Instagram, Facebook, all social media. So this is because of this. They took away their passports. They took away all their guns. They can't defend themselves. They're not allowed to travel. They now cannot. They don't have a voice on social media, and they're being slandered by the media. So they are just taking punches over and over and over again. And Republicans are not doing anything about it. They're just staying completely silent. You have a family right now. This man served in the war. He's never been arrested once. And every single charge, misdemeanors. Have you ever heard of the feds showing up with 10 to 14 agents with AR-15s out for a misdemeanor?
No.
Never. No, not at all.
And this is what we're seeing with the NSA targeting Tucker. We're seeing now the FBI target the Cusick family. What were your guys' thoughts? And, Anthony, you can go first, and then Evan, I want to hear what you have to say. What were your first thoughts when you read this story, you heard about it? What came to your mind?
I cried because I can't believe that a country that my parents came to for freedoms, that most people come to for freedoms, one of, if not the best country in the world, the universe, would treat our veterans and American families the way that this administration is treating people. I mean, it makes me literally want to cry thinking about it now. My question to you guys would be, when are we next for doing this?
Yeah.
I mean, really, you have Tucker Carlson, who's a journalist on TV. His emails, his text messages, all hacked because he's a conservative journalist. how long does it take for them to trickle down to even the people commenting here on Instagram?
Exactly. I mean,
You know what I'm
100%.
saying? Think of the severity of what's going on.
So true.
It's my thoughts. I'm sorry.
Evan, you got any? No, it's great. No, Evan, you have
Yeah,
any
no,
thoughts?
I think it's not only heartbreaking that this would happen to an innocent family, a veteran, a pastor, somebody who's done such incredible mission work, like an outstanding family who's done nothing wrong, but it's also infuriating to me to see this happening and to not see, like you said just a second ago, the GOP. Where is the GOP on this? Where are they, like, posting on social media, at least raising a little bit of something over the fact that this is just insane. This is absolutely uncalled for. And yeah, I think the thing that really strikes me is that GOP is silent on this. We don't see any prominent Republicans out there posting on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook anything about this story. It's like they don't even want to touch it. And that's, I think, the most upsetting and frustrating thing to me is the GOP is absolutely silent on this.
I love that you said that, because, and this is the one thing the Democrats always do. They always stand up for their own.
Yes.
We saw that in New York. Black Lives Matter district attorney drops all 80 charges. 120 people destroyed the Bronx, looted the city, destroyed the businesses, broke windows, stole all of the stuff in the businesses, looted the whole thing. What do? Clean up all the charges. All charges dropped. Antifa last summer, we all remember, there was like 1,000 arrests over the summer. 99% of every single charge dropped.
Well, you guys need help, though. Minnesota Freedom Fund.
Exactly.
Well, exactly. And you.
This is your fault. Come on.
Joe?
Joe?
This is, I mean, Kamala set up a fund to get these people out. And then you have a pastor who's never been arrested, never had a charge, and they target him. And the crazy thing is that they were following them for a month. I mean, it just...
What is, not to cut you off, but what did they what's the reasoning? I'm not quite sure. Like, do they even have an explanation as to why they were specifically targeted? Why they got come after?
The charges are they were a part of a violent riot. By the way, here is another update. I mean, this is just maddening. They had today, I talked to their family earlier today, which, first of all, I will say this, like, their whole family, they sent me a message today, and they're like, please tell everybody, thank you for sharing everything. Like, really, it's the grassroots of this community on Instagram that is pushing this story out right now. And it's really cool. They're watching it. They're seeing people post it. And it's like, because the Republicans aren't stepping up. Like, Ben Shapiro and the whole squad freaking raised up like $400,000 for AOC's grandma. And we can't raise up $100,000 for $100,000 for a veteran and someone that did not do anything. I mean, this is what we're talking about. So again, and this is what I was saying before, the Democrats stand up for their own. We saw what they do with BLM. We know what they do with Antifa. There should be no reason why we should be pumping this story and getting it out. I see a couple people saying, is there a fundraiser? Yes. If you look at my Instagram, the Speak Truth Without Fear Instagram, in our bio, there's a link, Give, Send, Go. We are raising $100,000 for this family. The retainer just to retain the lawyer for their family is $45,000. And that's, the $100,000 is really going to be a fraction. We wanted to start small and really try to get this family help that we can. So again, see the link. If you know someone, share it. Make sure you get it out there, because this family needs our help. The media is slandering them. The feds took their passports. They can't travel. They can't defend themselves. They just got deleted off Instagram and Facebook today. Like, they have no voice at all. And it really comes down to us.
Here's what's funny about mentioning the GOP, and this is why I sometimes believe that we will not win 2022 and we will not win 2024, is we have seen it in our own conservative circles. We have seen it time and time again where Republicans will either bow down, the GOP will either bow down because they're getting this to shut up, they're getting hush money, or they just don't say anything at all. Yeah. Or they're fighting each other. Mm-hmm. And that is the thing about the left. They are, I'm sorry, they are ride or die.
Yep.
They're like, oh, we're blowing this shit up. We all blowing this shit up.
Yep. No.
And that's what's really it's what's sad about it. We've seen it on our own platform. Conservatives going after each other. That's why I am so. Somebody in the comments said, "Aunt be looking pissed," because I just sit here and I listen and I'm like, but I see it here. Like I see it here and I'm like, people try to isolate other conservatives and other Republicans, or we have rhinos sitting in the GOP and it's like, this is it. This is the Republican Party, guys. You're looking at it. Hi, welcome.
Yeah.
Just a hot ass mess.
It is too bad that we don't cover our own. And again, I do understand that, like, Republicans are free thinkers. They are. Like, it's the one reason why Republicans always have a hard time uniting, because like our whole whole perspective is we're free thinkers. We all think differently. And I get that. But listen, how, like, the whole free thinking perspective or reality or whatever the hell we want to say, when does it stop when you're on the brinks of communism? And I know people are like, Jordan, communism will never happen in America. And I honestly don't think it will, but that doesn't mean that blood would be spilled to stop it. And that doesn't mean that there would not actually be a real fight, because you see the hands of communism. You see what is happening. You see what's being played out. Read the Love Letter to America. Read 1984. I just started reading this book about Big Brother and the surveillance. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Everything they're saying is literally coming to pass. And we're seeing this as literal proof with this family. You have a family that has never committed a crime. This man has never committed a crime. And you bring 10 to 15 agents to show up with AR-15s, lock him up, put him in shackles, act like he's a domestic terrorist, destroy his name, take his passport, do everything. Guys, if they will do this to him, they will do this to us. And the reason why is because they are using this to give us a warning. And if you don't see that, you need to. So what are we doing? We started a fundraiser. And yes, I'm going to be so annoying this week every single night, and I'm going to talk about this.
I'll share it too again. I'll share it again.
Thank you. No, thank you.
For sure.
Because this family is being let to dry. No one wants to touch it. No one wants to have the conversation about January 6th. No one wants to. I mean, let's talk about January 6th. So Revolver News, you guys know Revolver News, and I really want to get your guys' take on this, because this is pretty groundbreaking. We've already heard the report that Revolver News dropped an article a couple days ago. They said that it looks like that about 30% of a lot of these Oath Keepers, 3%ers, Proud Boys were all FBI informants. It is looking like that is what's happening. Well, today got even bigger, and this is crazy. So the head person, the person that started the Oath Keepers, is a man named Stewart Rhodes. Stewart Rhodes is the founder. He started the Oath Keepers. He's in charge of this entire organization. And what Revolver News dropped today was this man, who is supposedly one of the three groups that organized the insurrection, this man has not been arrested. Now just think about this. You have the head person of the Oath Keepers that they have. I mean, in this article, if you guys go to revolver.news, it's the main article on the page. When you go through this article, you see all the text messages. He's organizing this entire day of January 5th, January 6th. He's organizing it. This man who organized the entire, the militia that supposedly went and attacked the Capitol, broke down the buildings, this man has not been arrested once. And the question that the question they're asking in this article is Rhodes a FBI informant or undercover agent? Because based off the evidence, what they're seeing about 30% of these organizations have been infiltrated by FBI informants or FBI undercover agents. And the man that organized this whole thing, and you go through this article, you see the text messages. He's giving orders. He's talking to person 1 who's been unindicted, person 2 who's been unindicted, person 3, and they're saying, "Hey, where are you at?" All these things, all of these people were not arrested. They have been taken off the reports. Their names, for some reason, are being hidden to the public for their safety. Why is the head person of the Oath Keepers arrested? Not arrested once, when he's the one who organized the whole thing. But then you have the Cusick family who tried to go piss in the bathroom for 5 minutes, walked back out, didn't do anything wrong, and they're facing a year in prison. Can you guys explain that to me?
I talk too much, so I'm going to pass it for a minute because I have too much
Well,
to say.
Evan,
unfortunately, I can explain it to you because it literally makes absolutely no sense. You see the evidence plain and clear as day that this man is somehow organizing some sort of, whatever we want to call it, insurrection, terrorism against the Capitol, informing people, planning things, organizing things, and what? Nothing happens to him because of why? We don't know anything.
Yeah.
Like that. Somebody said something smells here. Something stinks here. It's absolutely insane. And yeah, I find it maddening that, yeah, you contrast this with the family where they did nothing wrong, and then you have somebody clear as day, and is anything ever going to happen to him? I mean, from the looks of it, probably not, but I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense whatsoever.
Well, there was a 4th charge today. Man, you're really getting served. Who is this person just serving you food and drinks right now, bro?
Oh my God! I told you it's my stagehand.
You are living the dream, bro.
The husband.
I love
You want to say hi real quick? Okay.
No, bye.
Bye. And I love you. So before I forget, though, so I want to say something that's going to be mind-blowing to everybody real quick. So to recap, basically what we're saying is there's undercover conservatives all up in the White House that had something to do with everything on January 6th, but we're just trying to get conservatives in trouble, right?
Yes.
Got one further for you. I believe, now y'all don't shake after I say this, I believe that there's all types of undercover planted influencers, singers, people that were at the January 6th events, public events, anything that has to do with Donald Trump. I guarantee you right now that there's probably planted people in every single aspect of it, and do not let your guard down, period.
That right there, that, how you doing? I can't do it.
I do. I think that because, I mean, just going back to January 6th and thinking about it and stuff like that, I didn't think that it was a good idea. I told my followers that I didn't think it was a good idea at the time. I said it's a setup. It's either A, setup, which now we know it was. I said, or B, they're going to drop bombs on everybody and it's going to be a bloodbath. And I didn't want to see you guys at my Patriots hurt, right?
Yeah.
It ended up being one of those things. But there were creators before on TikTok and Instagram that were conservative creators that were making Antifa videos that very day on January 6th that had us, even me, all of us duped that they were LGBT for Trump or they were black for Trump or this for Trump. And then we saw them expose themselves on January 6th saying, we're Antifa. So I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute.
Wow.
So if there's influencers doing that and insurrecting themselves into a situation like that by the government, by Democrats, why wouldn't they be doing it with every other aspect of what's going on here? And that's what I'm saying. So just
no, you're completely right on, man. And I mean, this is the number one reason why Trump had such a hard time getting crap done when he was in office, because he didn't know who to trust, because he had so many people in his administration, in his cabinet, that he would bring into his inner circle, and they were a bunch of moles. And, and Fauci, I mean, Fauci in itself was a horrible decision actually by Trump. It's the one thing
somebody says I was where you work at. No, I'm through and through. I'm conservative through and through, baby.
That's what they all say, right? Just kidding.
Hold on. Wait. Let's just say, hold on now. That would be a real deep situation because I pretend too much then because I have Trump flags. Hold on. Then I got like literally every type of Trump cup.
And listen, if Anthony was
Ann Coulter's book, who buys Ann Coulter's book? I did. Why?
That's true.
You got Ann Coulter's book. I love it. You're that's
I have
roots
the
right there, baby.
Constitution on the wall. I have the whole ass Constitution.
I'm sold.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Listen, you know Anthony's legit because the dude's been banned like 25 times.
That's true. They only ban the people they're scared of.
Exactly. That is one thing. And again,
right.
This is where we live in. To say that conservatives are not targeted is just you're not living in the reality, people. And it is unfortunate. But here's one quick update on the Cusick family that I just found out. They added a 4th charge today.
Oh, wow.
To their case. Are you guys ready for the actual definition of this 4th charge?
Let's hear it.
I'm quoting this. I can't believe this is real. Parading around the Capitol.
Is that the verbatim, like the words verbatim?
This verbatim. There is a 4th misdemeanor that they are charging them now on, because they had their Zoom court case from to DC, because this case has been held in DC. The 4th charge, the 4th misdemeanor is, guys, Clown World.
I'm telling you.
So listen, the question is, what are we doing? Okay, we talk about taking action. I saw one person today on my Instagram that said, enough talk. We got to start taking action. Okay, this is how you take action. You click the link in my bio, my Instagram. Listen, there's an arrow right here. You click that arrow. First, follow Evan, follow Anthony. Their content's great. If you follow them, you will not regret. I promise that. My personal Instagram is Jordan Sarmo, Sarmo. If you go to the Speak Truth Without Fear Instagram, or if you go to my personal Instagram, Jordan Sarmo, you click the link in the bio, and it takes you right to their GoFundMe. We're trying to raise $100,000 for this family. Why? Because $45,000 for retainer fees in itself. But 2, no one's stepping up. The only people that are stepping up are a lot of my good friends here on Instagram. They're stepping up for them. They're posting it. We are the grassroots. We are the change. We are the people that we will cover them. We will support them because no one else is. The only thing they're getting is shame on the media, and we'll step up. Holy crap, it's been an hour. I guess we did have a lot of Instagram problems. But let's do final thoughts. We'll start with Evan, and then we'll end with Anthony, and then we'll call it a night.
All right. Well, I kind of jumped into this conversation midway through, so wasn't very planned or anything.
I'm glad you did. Seriously.
I just happened to watch you. Like, you're part of my nightly routine. I'll get home from work, and then I'll eat dinner really quickly, and I'll go on a walk. And I'm watching this while I'm on my walk every night, so I love it. Gives me something to do. But okay, bro. Final thoughts. Let's say one thing that I'm really big on is the change starts with us. You got to start speaking up. Your whole channel, Speak Truth Without Fear. It's nothing's ever going to change unless conservatives, Republicans start making some noise, start speaking up, start posting. That's really what I encourage my followers to do. They always ask, what can I do? How can I get involved? The very first thing you can do is start sharing stuff on your stories. Start posting stuff on your feeds, on your Facebooks, on your Twitters, whatever. Everybody's always so scared, but you know what? Once you get canceled, I've been canceled. I've lost my job. I've been canceled because way back in the past, I don't even get into it anymore, but once you get canceled, there's no going back. There's no fear, going forward. And so don't be afraid to speak up. It just starts with that single post. Just start with a post. Share something that you're really passionate about, whether it be pro-life, whether it be, Second Amendment, free speech, whatever it is. Just start speaking up. It's got to start somewhere. And so I just encourage my followers, your followers, everybody's followers here, start speaking up.
I love that, Evan. Good word, bro. Conservative Amy.
Yeah.
What up, baby?
I'm going to have to piggyback off of that and say there's no way in hell they can take 80 million Americans and put us all in jail. It would be a pretty big camp. And it would probably be the biggest, most beautiful camp. No, but
It would be the most.
I will
It'd be
say,
the most
guys,
beautiful camp in the whole wide world. It'd be huge. It'd be huge.
if not the best, probably the best in the world, if not the whole universe. I don't know. But no, I think that I think it's
Someone said it'll
important.
be a fun camp.
A fun camp.
It
would be
though.
very
Bro,
fun.
I would be in a camp with you guys.
Dude, we would all
No,
create
for real.
businesses. They would be like, what? I'd be like, hey, Jordan,
Sign me up for the gulag.
I just opened up a grocery store down the street. I'm looking for 2 baggers.
In our org suits.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so funny,
no, but
bro.
I highly recommend, if you are scared to post stuff, though, because I know that I get reached out to by people all the time, helping families out like what Jordan's trying to do, even those silent helping situations, those will help and elevate people in other ways.
Yes.
Sharing other, conservatives, moderates, podcasts and stuff like that. So there's other ways that you can help in the community if you don't want to be loud. I understand that a lot of people are scared, so that's okay, but there's other ways. So
yes, there are other ways.
Silent.
No, so true, Anthony. There are other ways. Seriously, if you can, like we talk about the Patriots, we talk about how we're here for each other. We are going to back each other. Right now is the time. There's a family that needs our support. The media is slandering them. Republicans and the rhinos don't want to touch it because they don't want to risk the reputation because they're spineless pieces of crap. And what we can do is we, the people, are coming together. A lot of people are sharing it. Click the link in our bio. We're doing it through Give, Send, Go. It's not going to be deleted. 100% of all the funds goes directly to them. I don't get $1. It's literally goes straight to their bank account. Their information is in it. I get nothing. If you know someone, you might not have a Facebook, and you already shared on your Instagram. Think about people that you know and say, hey, have you seen this story? Check it out. Tomorrow we're going to be releasing an interview with all 3 of their daughters, and we're going to get into the details of what happened on the 6th, what happened this past weekend. So again, make sure you guys check it out. Click the link in the bio. And Anthony, you're going to say something before we end?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, it'd be really cool if you and I can be in the same room together at some point and do a show.
Well, I think we're planning this soon.
I wasn't sure if you wanted to tell everybody or not.
Well, me and Anthony have a lot of plans going on. There's like 2 trips I'm going down to, because Anthony lives like 2.5 hours from me. We've been planning this. There's like 2 different trips where I'm coming down to his side of town, which we're going to be doing. Me and Anthony, we're talking about adding a segment somehow. We're figuring out some stuff to get Anthony more involved. And so we'll save those updates though. We'll save those updates.
Yeah, but, so the Trump rally in Sarasota is on
this weekend. Holy crap, you're right. That's what
Saturday.
That's
Saturday. Well, I actually just remembered that. I was so excited about you, but you are coming down for the Trump rally, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So this Saturday, I don't know if anyone that's in Florida, we are going to the Trump rally this Saturday night. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, we're gonna try and like tailgate it and be there kind of early. Make sure, guys, that you do try to register, because I know that if it gets to capacity with Trump, this is not a Biden thing. I know Biden has circles. We have full out cities that we fill. So you have to actually register. Okay? I know Jill and they like to carve pumpkins at Biden's. They like to sit in their cars and beat the horn. But we do it totally different Trump style, okay? I already have my
He's got the flag ready.
Oh, I have 2 flags ready. Don't blame me. I voted for Trump. And then I have DeSantis. My DeSantis Make America Florida flag. I'm ready to go. So
I love it. Oh, it's going to be so if you guys are in Florida, you're in Central Florida, you're going to the Trump rally, make sure you come and say hi. It's going to be lit. Again, Anthony and Evan, thanks for making this happen tonight. Evan, thanks for hopping on real quick. Anthony,
yeah,
I
no
love
problem.
you, bro. It's always good seeing you.
I'm
going to see you this weekend. And again, speaktruthwithoutfear.com. Put in your email. We'll be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Love you guys.